Just getting situated here. Kind of wait for some people to join up. Got a few people on. A little bit early, but does anybody know how to record this, if it's actually recording? Can you hear what I'm saying? Can everybody hear me okay? Cool, cool, cool. All right. And the recording, does anybody know, does this record automatically? Hello. So anybody out there who knows how to, thank you very much. Does this record automatically? Does anybody know? As I am a virgin in this arena. All right, I'll figure out how to switch that over. I know we have a few more minutes until we get started. 2 more minutes. Hello. So you guys can have to bear with me through some of the technical things here. That's what I'm talking about. Ready to learn. That's what we're going to be doing. So again, in any business, in all businesses, we have to continually learn things. So that's the beauty of business. So we continue to learn. There's always things that we can figure out or do better or tweak. So, all right, about another minute and then we'll get going. Glad to see there's some people on here already. All right, well, without much further ado, we'll kind of get right to it. Thank everybody for coming out and joining me here. My first question I want to ask everybody is, what does being an entrepreneur or an entrepreneur mean to you? You can write it down, come back at it later on, whatever it is, but what does it mean to you? And, you know, I'll tell you a little bit about my story, about what being an entrepreneur means to me. And first, mine kind of started out as a kid. I saw my father. My father was an executive in the textiles business. And so he was always doing some kind of a business inside of the textiles business. Then when he didn't want my mother to be a nurse any longer, and he was going to get ready for a second stage of life, he bought a business from my mother, for himself coming into retirement, and for our family, which is still in existence today. Bought that in 1979, and they still work at it. When I was a kid, I used to go with my father down to the train station, drop him off at the train, and I would see all these guys getting into in their suits, getting into the train and heading down into Manhattan. It just looked like cattle. Everybody kind of getting in one car, everybody more or less dressed the same way, going into work, and then coming back, all in the same thing, but always working typically for someone else. And I just thought that after all this, I kept seeing this more and more and more and more, and I saw my father's growing frustration with having to produce at a high level for other people, but not really getting any piece of it, and at the end of the day, hoping he doesn't get fired. Because as we know, you're only as good as your last idea, or as your last benefit to the company. So, in that regard, I said I never ever wanted to go work for anybody else, make them a ton of money, and get a little piece of it in hopes I don't get fired. That to me was just completely crazy. So I never wanted that. I always thought that there was a different way of doing it. So at the age of about 10 or 11, I had about 3 jobs. At the age of about 10 or 11 years old, I was a caddy at a country club. I sold magazines, subscriptions door to door, and I worked for my family's company in Manhattan, taking a train and subway by myself at times. And I always wanted to kind of create my own business, as I was seeing my father and other people doing, and I knew that working for somebody else just wouldn't do it. So I started a couple of businesses. I've had a lot of different businesses, and I'm just going to talk about 2 of them. And so the first business was a restaurant, and it just kind of came about. I left college. I didn't know kind of what I wanted to do. And my father said, "I'm going to get you a job working as a salesman in a beer distributor." So okay, thanks, Dad. So I went in for the interview, and I went in. I talked to the manager, and he says, "Okay, so you're here for a job?" I said, "Yeah, I'm here for the salesman job." He started laughing at me, and I said, "What's so funny?" He says, "Well, you have to work on a truck first for X amount of time, months, years, whatever, and then you get to become a salesman." But I said, "That's not what I'm here for. I'm here for the salesman job. I'm a salesman. That's what I'm here for. I'm not here to work on the back of a truck." And lo and behold, that's what the job was, So I took it. My father got it for me. Out of respect, I kept it, and I kept going. I worked there for a few months, and I just said, I'm not anywhere closer to being a salesman or anything else than I was when I first walked in the door and sat in that chair across from that man. And so I left. And I called my father, and I said, "Hey, Dad, I'm not going to do this anymore." He says, "Well, what are you going to do?" I said, just off the top of my head, I said, "I'm going to open a restaurant." He said, "What do you know about a restaurant? You're 23 years old. Do you know anything about a restaurant?" I said, "Yeah, I know. I don't know anything about a restaurant, but I'll figure it out." So I put together the money, built it from scratch. There was nothing there. It was just an empty lot. Built it up from scratch. A friend of mine had went out to California and got this menu of some health food. I hired a staff to figure it out, a chef that came up with this healthy menu, and I came up with the idea. I said, "I'm going to put this health food restaurant in front of my friend who was opening up a very large chain gymnasium, right? And it's huge." And this was in the early 90s when there was the health food crisis. Everybody was like going into all these health foods. I said, brand new, 50,000 square foot gym. Great. I'm going to open up a restaurant here. Right across the way was the largest train station in Westchester County in New York. I said, so I have a whole lot of people to choose from. Plus I have the gym crowd. Plus I'm in this kind of like hippie, health food nut area. And so great, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. Every single food I had listed: fats, proteins, carbohydrates, calories. Everything was listed: breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And I served lean buffalo meat. I had tofu burgers and veggie burgers and all this kind of stuff. And so I did that. You know, I had no idea about a restaurant, but I surrounded myself with people who knew the restaurant business, chefs who knew how to prepare this kind of food. I had cards made up, recipe cards, that had every item I had on my menu was there, and it was broken down so that if the chef left, I could still figure it out. I was there with him every single day to try and figure out how to make it just as he made it when it came out, so that there was a uniformity to it. And that was my business. And nobody else had that on the East Coast. Nobody had a health food restaurant like that. Nobody had everything listed. Nobody had the foods that I had. And nobody had the area that I had. You know, and that was in 1993, give or take. That was one business. The other one I want to talk about is a entertainment company. This came about in about 2004. Some friends of mine that I was in business with, they decided that, you know, one of them said, I always want to do this. I had a dream of making movies and doing this. And he was a screenwriter in Hollywood. He sold a screenplay to a very famous person in Hollywood who was making movies. And he always wanted to do this as his dream. And it wasn't my dream, but, you know, as it turns out, I got into business with him. So what happens is he decides that he needs some more money for this business. So I decide that when I invest now, I want, you know, a certain percentage of it. And that happened. So what we did is we created the old Hollywood version of movie making. And that was everything in-house, so that we didn't have to go anywhere else for any aspects of our business. We formed acting classes, and we had Robert Miano, who's been in a couple hundred different films. And we hired him to do our acting classes. Great. Now what we did is we picked out the top actors out of those classes, and then we would sign them to long picture deals. And in that, anything they did outside of those deals, we would get a percentage of. So, and that's what the old Hollywood used to do. We weren't reinventing the wheel, we were just reinventing that, and then we did it in a modern time. A way that many businesses in Hollywood, many production companies were getting away from. We created a record label so that we can do our own soundtracks. So we didn't have to go elsewhere for that. And in that regard, what we did is we signed artists to our record label, and we would put them on there in a way to promote it. And I figured out every single aspect that I could of that business, between the day-to-day productions, the talent, everything. I learned every single aspect of the business, because I knew that if something broke down, I needed to know. Just like my restaurant, if the chef left or something left, I couldn't be held hostage by that. So I had to know everything, you know. So I did that. I learned every single aspect of the production business, how to make a movie from A to Z, and you know what, better yet, who to hire to do the things that not only I didn't know, but knew them better than me, and that I could use my time elsewhere to go handle other aspects of the business. So those were two businesses that I did, you know, that I created. I wasn't reinventing the wheel on certain things. I was taking a certain product or a service, and I was making it my own. And that's the beauty of business, is that you can create a thing that's never been done before. That's great. Or you can take a new concept on an old idea and make it your own. And I think that's where a lot of people are now, because, you know, so many things have already been done before, or like, you know, a lot of us who are in multi-level marketing, direct selling and things like that, the model's there. All we have to do is turn around and make it our own, how that works best for us. So in that regard, with those types of businesses, with the production company, with the restaurant, an entrepreneur has to be thinking 3, 4, 5, 10 moves ahead. Not what's happening now, what's going to happen? If you have a new product or service and you only have one, what's the next best thing coming out? Excuse me. What is the next? What's coming up next? You know, every entrepreneur has to have something coming up next, a different way to tweak your business, a new product, a new take on your product or service, or something like that. That's taking you to the next level. That's increasing your business, increasing your sales. When I came to network marketing, I'd never done network marketing before. But just like I'd never made movies before, I never owned a health food restaurant before, I never owned a construction company, commercial fishing boats. I never did any of that stuff before. There's always a first time for it. So, but when I came to network marketing, I found that so many people are having a problem with their business, which is kind of where we're at today. I see so many people are struggling with their business. Move this thing down a little bit. So many people are struggling with their business and how to get it going for them. And in network marketing, we're not here to reinvent the wheel, but you have to reinvent yourself. You have to take what you have available and make it your own, right? I wasn't the first person to ever do a restaurant. I wasn't the first person ever to create a production company, you know. And you're not the first people to ever do network marketing or direct selling or any of that. But you have to make it your own. Somehow, whatever works best for you. And every great relationship that you've had, whether it's a personal or business, what is the key aspects of building yourself a great business or a great relationship? It's your foundation. If you do not have a solid foundation in your, just say, relationships, right? The greater majority of marriages fail, first-time marriages. They fail. The greater number of first-time businesses, they fail. Why? The common denominator is they don't have a great foundation. And your business is the same. Think of your business as a first-time marriage. If you don't have communication, if you don't have being of like mind, that's very important. If you don't have the same vision, if you guys aren't trailblazers and trail makers, the odds of you really succeeding is slim to none, and slim just left town. I mean, that's the short and cut of it is that you have to have a strong base of foundation. So think about your business now and the people that are in your business and why your businesses either are or aren't functioning the way you want them to, and what is the reason? If you laid out the foundation and the people that you're in business with are of the same mindset of you, you're going in the right direction. Your friends, people you really look, I mean your really hardcore, your core group of friends, are they like-minded? Are they thinking the same as you? Chances are yes. Otherwise they wouldn't be that close to you. That's how your business has to be. Your husband, your wife, your boyfriend, anything in there, your girlfriend, you know, are they of the same mindset? That's key. I mean, you know, because that's a partnership. That is your partnership there. The same as your business. You have to treat your business just like that. It has to have a good, solid base of like-minded people, visionaries just as yourself, wanting to blaze that same path, blaze that same trail, going in the same direction, have that same vision as you do. You know, a great way to look at it is you can't want something more for somebody else than they want for themselves. And so if you're not like-minded, you're always going to want something more for them because maybe you see it or you see it a different way. Well, they're not going in the same direction. They're not interested in the same things. So all you're doing is wasting your time. You know, you're trying to make the square peg fit in the round hole, and that doesn't work. So the key is to build your foundation. So I'll bring it right back to the network marketing and to direct selling, as that's what I'm into now. Is a few other things, but I'm into that now, and I really enjoy it. Is that if you really built your base every month, even if you just brought in one person a month, right, who just took it and ran, who had the same thoughts and philosophies as yourself, and they just ran with your business, where you don't have to do much of anything, because all you did was duplicate yourself. Just like in the restaurant, when the meal comes out, all I'm doing is duplicating. I'm just taking this from here to there. I'm not trying to every time do something different. I'm duplicating the process, getting it out, because that's what the people are expecting. They're expecting to something when it comes out that, that it's the same thing over and over again. And that's what you have to have. You have to have the same thing coming out over and over again. You know, so uniformity in your organization. You know, so if you had every single month, for say you took 12 months and you had one person just run it, every leg of every month in your business, just one person and ran, one person and ran, one person and ran, and you didn't have to go back and repeat the process every time. You're building a little bit slower, but you're still building it. So don't get stuck on having, well, I need 1,000 people here and I need all this different stuff here. That'll come. Because if you have a strong base that's building the business the way you want it, the way they want it because they're thinking the same way, how strong is your business going to be in the future? Because you're creating the income for yourself for your future. Not going back and say, hey, is this person doing their auto shipping? Is this person doing that? Or is this person doing that? I don't have to, because you know what? We're thinking the same way. It saves so much time and headache for yourself to have the quality base and let that go. And if people aren't on the same page with you, then cool, great. There's billions of people out there in the world that are looking for something, that are looking for an opportunity. You know, but if you put yourself in that position, then you're going to win. There's no doubt about it, right? So get the quality information out there. Find out who it is you want to go into business with. You don't want to be in business with everybody, just everybody. The same as you don't want to be in a relationship, with just anybody. You just walk down the street and get married with anybody. So why would you conduct your business like that? You know, you never want to conduct you. So look at your business and your personal. It's like a lot of people want to try and go out there and find that, but you know what you're going to find is you're wasting a lot of your time and theirs. It'll fit. You got to put out quality information, put yourself in a position to win. So I went back and I said, what does being an entrepreneur mean to you? You guys can email that to me. You can do all that. What I'm going to be doing with my with my webisodes, I'm doing the Periscopes on Tuesday. And on Thursdays, on Thursdays I'm doing the Periscopes. On Tuesdays, I'll be doing the webisodes. And they'll be going on for about 10 weeks. And you can keep in touch with me through Facebook. You can keep in touch with me through my email. It's Tim Harron, HARRON, the number 69 at gmail.com. Tim Harron 69 at gmail.com. And you can we can keep in touch there. You can send me information that you want me to speak on. Let me help you with your business. If you want to join me in my business, that's fine too. We'll see if we fit. Like I said, we don't want just everybody in our business. When I was going through my restaurant and everything, I pretty much did that by myself. The production company, I had it for a couple of years, got a good offer and got out. I didn't enjoy my partners. We were going in the same direction initially, and then as always, a lot of cases we kind of went off like marriages, right? So you just don't want anybody in your business. So if we fit and we're a good match, fantastic. Let's go make some money. Let's go, help some people and change some lives. But so if there's going to be any kind of a missing of a meeting or any of the webisodes or anything, I'll definitely let you know ahead of time. But that'll be a rare instance for me to miss something. So just to break it down a little bit, I told you a little bit about my story. For an entrepreneur, I would say, just blaze a trail for yourself. Make the trail where there was none. Okay? And always be in a survival mode, right? As if that's the last. Be as hungry as you can in your business. I think that's a great way to say it is always be hungry, always want something more, always want to expand your business, expand how you're doing business, right? So I'll open up a couple questions now. Does anybody have any questions so far? As I sip on my BTT. You guys, I'll just talk a little bit more as you keep going. Just type in a question if you want me to talk about something as I'm going. There's another business that I'm coming into now. Excuse me, and it's something I've never done before. But then again, there we go. Hey, I never did network marketing before. I'm coming up on a book that I've written that's going to be coming out in the next couple of months, which is something I've certainly never done before. That is a new venture for me. So I'll keep it posted on that. That's why I've talked to a couple of people that say, well, I'm a writer. I said, well, have you published anything? Well, no. I said, well, you're not a writer. You write things, but you're not a writer, So when you're network marketing, say, I'm a network marketer. Okay, but, how many, what are you doing for your business? Well, I sit at home and I don't do much. Well, you're not much of a network marketer then. But in any event, so if there's no further questions or anything, I'm going to keep these kind of short. Tuesdays, I'm going to come out with a webisode. There'll be 10 weeks, so I'll be doing 10-week webisodes, helping people with their business. Why, thank you. At the end of the day, with your business, it's your business. You have one business and it's yours. So you just make the most of it. Make the most of your business. If you're not doing, if something's not going the way you want it to go, that's business. It's going to happen. So make sure that you're always forever trying to change it up, how you're doing it, if it's not working. Especially if something's not working. You don't want to continue to do the things that aren't bringing you success. So you can email me. I'll put up the webisode coming up on Tuesday. So I'll publish those first thing on Tuesday morning. If anything changes, I'll let you guys know via Facebook, or I guess that's probably the best way. Yeah, every Thursday is going to be the same time. We'll come on. Send me something. If there's some things that you're interested in me talking about, then I'll get to it. Struggles with your business, anything that comes up for your business. Because at the end of the day, everybody wants to be an entrepreneur, right? For the most part. There's two mindsets of people. You have a W-2 mindset, or you have a 1099. Two different mindsets that you'll have. And so the question is, which one do you have? And you can be an entrepreneur, but my goal of this is I don't want you to be a wantrepreneur. A wantrepreneur is just somebody that wants to be an entrepreneur but has no idea how, and doesn't have the tools to become one. Talks about it, wants to, but that's solely a wantrepreneur. So, I want, my purpose of this is to get it out there, and I want all the wantrepreneurs to become entrepreneurs, and I want you to have the tools necessary to do that. It starts inside of you. It starts with your want, your desire, the creating the need, revamping something that's been there, however it looks like, whatever it is, it's amen is right. And you guys can use that, the wantrepreneur or the entrepreneur. Which one are you? Because you're going to see so many people online saying, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm an entrepreneur. I saw a friend of mine on there who had two different businesses. Actually, it was one. And they said that, I do this and I'm also this. And I said, well, you go to school, so you're not really doing much of entrepreneur. And the other talent you say you have, you don't have. So you're just an entrepreneur, And be honest with people. Be honest with what they are. You don't have to be as blunt as I am at times, but that's okay too. So don't be the entrepreneur. Produce, create. Being an entrepreneur is about creating, right? You don't have to create a new product like how I'm with Longevity. I'm not creating a new stuff. I mean, Doc's already done all that. All I'm doing is making it my own, however that looks like to me. And I can do this through these. I do it through some posts and just give out quality information, things that are important to you. And you're going to come to find that the people who come and join you because of that are the ones that are going to stay in your business. Those are the ones that are going to drive your business, to the Chinaman's head, as we always say. We're going to drive that all the way down. That's what we want to do with your business. You want like-minded people. So when you're talking about something, make sure, like if you're on social media or you're doing presentations or you're doing whatever it is that you're doing, make sure that you are confident. Make sure you know that what it is that you're talking about, and have it make sense to people. Right? Just to say something doesn't have anything. You're right. You have to have some kind of cause to action. Right? Here's the cause, the action. Take action. So you want the people to take action on what you're talking about. So please make sure that's part of it too. If you're saying something, there's got to be make sure that there's a reason for it, and at the end of the day, it makes sense for your business as well. But the passion has to be there, the knowledge has to be there, the drive, the dedication has to be there. So there's so many things that go into doing your business, right? And like I said, that starts inside of you. What is it that you want? And is it right for you? I've done tons of businesses, but, I didn't really have much of a passion for a lot of them. I did them because they're business. And business is business is business is business. It doesn't matter what business that you're in. It's the art of doing business. For me, it's creating. I love to create things. So I love to create the businesses, but I didn't necessarily have a passion for it. And so that's where when you meet the creativity and you're making something, whatever it is, and then you have the passion behind it, that can be a powerful business, a really, really powerful business. You take Doc, his passion is just, you see it, and he literally turned that into, the business that it is today. So you see a lot of people with their passions, and turning it into something. So make sure you have a passion for your business too, not just conducting business just to do it. So create something, create whatever it is, and hopefully you'll have a passion for it, or find some sort of a passion in it. It'll make it a lot more enjoyable for yourself when the passion is there, and you're not just collecting some sort of a check, because at the end of the day that'll get old. Collecting just a check. Just here to collect a check. That doesn't much do it. So think about that, and you can send me an email at timharron69@gmail.com on what does being an entrepreneur mean for you. So send that to me. I want to know what that is. And I'll speak on some of those because it's important. If you don't know what it is, and if you're kind of maybe off base, and you're an entrepreneur, let's turn that into an entrepreneur, right? So what does it mean to you? And really look for those quality people to build the foundation of your business, because those are the people that are going to sustain your business with you. So that's about it. Is there anything else? Any comments, questions, concerns? So a lot of hearts going up. I appreciate that. On my first broadcast here, so there we go. Hope I did all right on my first broadcast with you guys. Why, thank you. I appreciate that. Absolutely. Cool. Absolutely. That's just it. My job here is to put out information and to help people with everything. You're welcome. Absolutely, you're welcome. I found that as I get a little bit older, I love to educate more than anything else. So, and I have a whole host of life experiences. So, and I think you need to share the good and the bad. That's where it comes from. Not everything is going to be good. So, but you share it, and if that can help somebody, fantastic. So I guess that's about it for right now. I'll put up on Tuesday. I'll put up the first webisode there, and it'll be a series of 10. So we'll do this for about 10 weeks here, and the ultimate goal is to get you guys more into your passions, more into your entrepreneurial spirit, and help you along with your business. And it's going to really help and touch on other aspects of your life too. Once you kind of figured out some things that might not have been going well, or something that you might be able to do differently. So I'll see you guys on Tuesday. I'll post that up on my YouTube channel. I'll put that up there. The webisodes, and so certainly please email me that. Absolutely, you're totally welcome. So send me those things about what does being an entrepreneur mean to you, and I'll answer those in the webisodes. Okay. Thank you very much for everybody for joining me on my first one here. I hope I touched on some things that were important to you and things that can help you along, and not just your business but your life in general. So see you on Tuesday. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a great day. Go be prosperous.